If you're looking for silky smooth country soul harmonies, I have found them in the duo Butter and Grit. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it. Butter and Grit is obviously a very unique name for Luke Michael and Laurel Taylor. So how did you guys come up with it?
Yeah, Butter can tell a little bit of that.
Yeah, this is my one claim to fame. I listen, she produces our music and everything, but my claim to fame is our name. We were sitting in the studio the day that we decided that we were going to start Butter and Grit, and we were like, oh, we need a cool name. We need something like, we can't just be Laurel and Luke. Like, that seems like been done before.
Yeah.
And I was like, what about Butter and Grit? And she was like, what'd you say?
That's the stupidest name I've ever heard of.
Let's do it. And truly, like, that was how quick it came about. And it's so funny and people love it, but the meaning kind of came after of like, you know, like, yes, like I have like butter smooth, like R&B kind of style, and she brings the grit from Alabama and she's got like a raspy voice, but truly it's all about the grit of it. Like we've been through hell and back, and that's what we kind of like to write about, and being, you know, standing firm and fierce where we are today.
It's funny because like Butter and Grit, like we get biscuits and gravy, we get butter and chips, we get like jelly roll and grit. Like,
yeah,
you know, like there's all like when we do a lot of shows, it's so funny how they get our name wrong. But we're like we don't care. Like we're happy to be there, and we have a good time. So I'm glad that Butter and Grit has stuck with us. So.
Well, do you guys like grits?
I do
with cheese.
Cheese. So I'm from the Midwest, so I'm not like a big grits person.
Yeah.
But like, so it's cheese. Do you do sugar or do you do salt?
So I've tried the sugar thing, and it just don't work for me.
That seems crazy to me.
It just does not work.
That's
it
a
is
southern
not
thing.
a dessert.
I like it because it's a southern thing. I'm from Alabama, so. But when we do get butter and grits, people be like, I like a little butter in my grits, and we're like, that's not the meaning, but okay, like we'll do it, we'll take it.
But I mean, it sticks with you. I think a lot of people are going to remember it.
It really does stick with you.
Yeah, but let's talk about you guys also just meeting, because you guys met at an interesting time. It was it a songwriting session, or how did you guys kind of meet?
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of tell a little bit.
I will tell the long version, so you try to give the.
I'll just kind of tell. I'll hand it off to you, but. Yeah, we actually met. So I have been in Nashville for almost 15 years, almost maybe 16 by now. It's 2026. And I was playing around at Commodore Grill off of West End, and I played at like 7 or 8 o'clock. And I got this message on Instagram, a DM from Luke Michael, and we followed each other. We didn't know why we followed each other. We both did American Idol, so we maybe followed each other from the past, possibly. But he was like, hey, I'm playing, I'm signing up for the open mic, and I'm coming to your show. Like, he was coming to support, you know, just simple as that. I was like, okay, cool. I think I said like, oh, sweet.
Yeah, and then she got there and she didn't talk to me at all, like at first, and I was like, cool, I guess we're.
Just another thing.
Yeah, I was like, cool, I guess I'm just another fan in the crowd. But no, she like you literally, she did her show. I saw her. I like waved, and I think she was like. like that. And I had my mom with me, and I was like, "That's Laurel Taylor."
That's
like
the one
that's
I talked to.
And I was like, "Cool," but she's not talking to me. That's all right. But no, I went up and played at like 11. So like I was like, "Oh, she's not gonna stay." Well, she stayed 3 hours. Just to watch me, because I had sent her a message, and I did not ask you to stay. I always make sure to say that.
He didn't ask me to stay. Our manager and I both stayed, and when we heard his voice, we were like, this is like Teddy Swims meets Chris Stapleton. Like it's got a rough but a smooth, and I don't know, we were really shocked at how good it was. I was like, man, you don't hear a lot of voices like that in Nashville, just at an open mic especially, you know. And so we stayed till after, and when I got off the stage, we just started talking to him, and we went to dinner the next night with his mom, because at the time Lauren, our manager, was looking for a Teddy Swim kind of artist. We didn't have that on the roster yet. And so she was very interested. And so they started talking, and then we started talking, and Luke got deep pretty quickly.
I'm really good at that.
Yeah, he got deep pretty quickly. But I think we all felt like we were community already and family. And so he got real deep and went into some dark things, and talking about how much he's been through and how much hardship he's been through and how he's on the other side of it. Barely, pretty much. You know, he was still coming out of that season, and he was just looking for that, you know, glimpse of hope and grabbing onto something. And he said that one of the things that pulled him out of it was a song, a Christian song. And I was like, well, that's really cool. Like, what was the name of the song? And he shared the song with me, and it's Psalm 23, I'm not alone. And I looked at him, and I looked at our manager, and I looked at his mom, and everybody started crying, and we were like, why are we all crying? But he told me that, and I was like, man, like, he said, and if I ever like meet that songwriter or artist or anything, I'd love to tell them they saved my life. And I was like, Luke, I wrote that. And yeah, and I was just sitting there. I was like, we have to work together.
Yeah.
This is important. Like, it was Luke Michael and Laurel Taylor for a bit. I was playing on his stuff. He was playing on mine. I was producing his R&B stuff and pop stuff. I was just trying to help him into Nashville, truly. And now we get to do it together. And it only took 6 months after, right? It wasn't long.
It wasn't long before we knew that this was more than just like, oh, we're just gonna like be friends and support each other. I think it's really funny too, like looking back, like it's the new year and I've been going through my closets of like stuff in my house and I'm like trying to get rid of stuff because I'm like I'm so cluttered. And I found the other day this journal that I kept when I was like really just going through it and I was just having some really dark thoughts. And I found like 3 days ago where I had written out like the lyrics to Psalm 23, and I was like, oh my God, like we tell the story so many times, but then seeing like the pen marks from where I'm like, man, this song really did save my life. And now I get to work every day with the person that is the reason that song exists. Like, I mean,
it was crazy.
Yeah.
And we weren't really sharing that. We were just sharing our like, camaraderie about each other and our friendship and stuff. But then we were like, oh my gosh, this is the story. We are alive today because of each other.
Yeah.
And what God has done in our life. It was insane. So to know that, yeah, we're friends and we joke and we have a hate-love relationship. More on my end, but look,
True.
I'm his best friend. Okay.
Yes, and I've learned, I guess I'm not hers. I don't
So
know.
so it's been really cool to
Yeah.
have that story.
Well, I just think it's so funny how all it lined up and then you guys sound the way you sound together. Like, it's something, like, I wasn't joking about the harmonies. Like, it's something, voices don't always blend as well as yours. And so hearing your guys' music, it is incredible. Just like the intentionality of how well they blend together. And then you've had such a big year. I mean, we talked about this before on the show. I mean, you performed at the Bluebird,
Yeah.
Whiskey Jam. Like, those are big things and like a lot of eyes on you guys during those. Walking into the Bluebird, I just have to ask, I know we talked about it before you went, but walking in there and actually doing it, what was that like for you guys?
Oh man, I'll speak a little bit, but this was like your like first
Yeah.
time in there. I definitely want you to share like your experience. But for both of us, I only played it once before, and it is a beautiful thing just knowing there's like 50 people or 56 people, whatever it holds, that care to come listen to original music. And they're from all over the world. That's the cool part. You're in that little circle.
Yeah.
But when it was cool for like me to do it, but then when we got to do it, I was like, okay, like this was the first year we started it, and we're already in this little circle. I'm excited to see what's next. You know what I mean? Like that's what was really cool is we got it so quickly, and I'm so grateful for that. And just to see Luke like walk in there with confidence, knowing that like this is his night, So yeah, go ahead.
Now, in September of 2024 was the first time I've ever been to the Bluebird, and it was to see Laurel play. It was the week I moved to Nashville, and so to be there in November of 2025, like pretty much a year later, and we sat in the round in a way that I could literally the whole time stare exactly where I sat to watch her, and I was like, man, like 1 year ago, I was sitting there being like, oh, this is so cool. I can't wait till one day. And that one day came a year later. And I'm like, oh, this is insane. And my mom was there both times. And the first time she said, I was like, do you want to get like a t-shirt to support Laurel? And she was like, I'll buy a t-shirt when you play. And so she came and she bought a t-shirt the next year. So, it's cool to say like, there's so many times where I feel like we're around so many artists and us ourselves, we feel like we're like, constantly like spinning with ideas in our head of what's next, and it's just crazy when you can look back at a year and be like, man, there has been so much growth, and be thankful for where we are now.
And I think that like I think that things are just lining up miraculously, because even the night before, 2 nights before, we were at a CMA event and got in contact with somebody from Daniel Diamond, and they wanted to dress us for the Bluebird. And so that was just so cool.
Yeah.
That was so cool. Everything just went
Mhm.
great that week, and it was the best experience. We can't wait to go back.
I love that. And it's interesting because when I talk to people, a lot of the time they're like in a similar place or where you are, they're doing a lot of like the grind that it is in this industry. But you guys are taking a very different approach, I feel like, with doing all the different places that you perform. You perform in prisons, hospitals, mental health facilities, like a lot of that, which I find very interesting. Can you talk to me about why you guys are taking the time to do this? And it's not just around here, you're traveling and doing it, which I think is also very cool.
I'll let you really were the one
Yeah.
who got us into it more than
Yeah.
even me. So
I don't think I've ever had a desire to play a prison or hospital recovery center until I did it for the first time. And I saw the impact of just how it impacted me. Not even them. It was the fact that I was in there, like, being blessed, knowing that, like, this hour that you have, you're spending with them, and it's the smiles on their face, the hope that is shown, on their face. I can't trade that for anything. My first round was a Jesus in a Bar, and it was at the Turney Center in Nashville. And I remember coming off the stage and saying, like, "Hey, do y'all write with the incarcerated also?" And they're like, "No, that's a separate program. I'll get you all connected." And so I was playing a show, but then I started working with this program called Beat a Life. That's kind of how it went into what we do. And so from that, it turned into Project Prison Music and all these other different programs where we're either playing a show or we're writing with them, hearing their story. And as Luke came into the circle, we all had a passion for it, and we all did it. We all have different backgrounds of things we've been through that we can help them and help each other. Telling each other's story is the best. As story changes. Your testimony. So it's very redemptive. And I will say, like, to the approach, like you said, like, you take a different approach than the grind. Like I said, I've been here for 15 years and I've played the game, and I just don't really care about the game anymore. I want to meet real people. I want to be real. I want to be authentic. We don't need to work with anybody that doesn't want to work with us. We're not trying to bust down the doors. We're trying to take the open doors that people openly are proud of us and support us and love our music and love our lyrics and connect with them.
And we want to support them back.
Yeah.
Something that's really hard as an artist is a lot of times you feel like you like are either giving a lot or you're taking a lot, and it's a hard balance trying to figure out, like, well, how do I get both? And so it's been really great since we started Butter and Grit, especially. I feel like we've been really able to tap into the community of artists doing similar things to us in a different way than we've ever done before, especially in the country music genre. And it's really fun to see that there is like a new wave of music and artists that are coming in that I don't think people are really expecting right now.
Yeah.
Well, and I find it interesting because like it says a lot about your guys' character in the sense that you don't necessarily get like mainstream credit for doing this, but you are building a community and building fan bases and genuinely changing people's like overall just life story a little bit. I mean, if you're in a hospital, you're obviously not doing great, but then maybe the music can help in a way. So I think that's awesome, and it does go into the Unchained Voices project. I think this is a really cool project. I love some of the songs that you guys have released with it. Talk to me about the mindset of doing this, taking what you've been doing and even a step further.
Yeah. Unchained Voices was truly, like, we will always give the credit to, she is our manager, but she's our best friend, Lauren. She maybe has the biggest heart out of the three of us for prison ministry. And when we go in and we write with these different programs, one of the big things is, like, we would love to share content, videos, like all this different stuff. There's a lot of red tape around it. We can't post videos of inmates. We can't release songs we write with incarcerated population because it's illegal. We can't take money from that, and we don't want to do that either. So it's kind of a weird thing. so this project of Unchained Voices came out of how do we tell these stories that, yes, like we've been able to tell their stories, but what have they taught us? We're growing together. And that's the most beautiful part about getting to work with, hospice and veteran programs is we are helping, but they're helping us just as much grow as humans. So, Unchained Voices is literally us after we have an experience in a prison, a hospital, anything. We come together, just the three of us, and we write a song, and it's a lesson that we've learned or just something that we think everybody can grow from together. And we go up to the studio and we do a demo. We don't send it off to mix and master. We don't do anything like that. We just go up, we do it, and then we release it. We don't even.
I think that's why it connects so much with me, because I love like a more raw sound than overly produced. So I think that's very cool that you guys just let it breathe and let it just be what it is, and I think that's very special. But your guys' music too, I want to pivot a little bit. It's not just straight up country, and there's so much genre blending now, and I think it's so fun. It makes the genre so much more interesting and diverse. Talk to me about how you guys approach that, because I think that can get difficult because you're like wanting to have your own style of everything. But how do you guys have those conversations? Like, what does that look like when you're sprinkling a little this, a little that?
I would say it's honestly what you said about how you haven't met a lot of people that the voices go together so well. I feel like if we were to each cut a song that is already out from Butter and Grit, it would sound very different. He's got the R&B and pop side, and then I bring the country, and so I feel like we'll say like, okay, who's carrying this song? Well, you carried the last song. Well, you carry, we compare tones. We don't want to overtly sing the song, but we don't want to just give grit and rap or hip hop. But we want to be all things to all people, and that's the best way to put it. I've had somebody say like it's like a plate of food. You don't just want the meat, you want the sides too. And so when we craft a song, we try to give all of it, but we try to be a hybrid. What's crazy is I've been told not to do that, but like I just can't not do it. Like it's something that we're not even trying to be. It just works for us. We have a song coming out that's more country pop. The next song is gonna have some like rock by like Blink-182, but country. It's gonna be cool.
It's really it's letting go of the idea of like
the box.
What is commercial and what is going to work. And really saying like what is us? What is us? Like who are we? And the cool thing is like, and I always brag about this, but like she's a female producer in Nashville, which is great. But we have control of the sound. We're not coming to different producers and trying to understand and get them to understand like this is who Butter and Grit is. It inherently comes from we're the ones who work on it from start to finish. And so I could not tell you how to even open a Logic project half the time, I'll be really honest, but like I will sit and write the house down all day. Like I love to write, and it's really cool to come in. Like I'll come in with like I'll be like I don't know how this even is gonna sound, but here's some lyrics, and she will be like, oh, we got it. And it's a collaboration from start to finish, and that's I think what makes it uniquely ours.
As someone that's like more in the pop R&B space, more in the country space, was that making the jump to being like, okay, we're gonna be a duo? Was there any challenge with that, because you're kind of stepping into a new zone for both of you? Was that like, because obviously you were having kind of your own careers and now merging careers. I always find that interesting when people are willing to like bet on another person. And I love the trust that you guys have. So what was that like for you guys?
No, I love that you said
you can
like
go first.
I'm like, please let me take this one, because the last time she said it and I was like, girl, I don't think you meant it the way you said. But no, I'll be honest, like when we sat down at the Yogi Chinese buffet with our manager in Murfreesboro, and she was like, I really want you guys to be a duo. And I think both of us were like, okay, yeah, that could work. And then we had questions, and not bad, just exactly what you're talking about. It's like, okay, well, I'm doing this and she's doing this, and I kind of write about this stuff a lot and she doesn't. And a big thing is like there is an age gap. Like I'm turning 25 today. Actually, today's my birthday. Thank you. But like, what, you 30?
31.
31. So it's like there's a bit of an age gap too, and so I think we just had a lot of things that we were like, oh, we're best friends. We don't want anything to get in the way of that either. Like they always say, don't do business with your friends.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot of doubts. But at the same time, we had so much hope because we're like, we look back at our story and we say, man, there's no way that like this idea is just coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like the way we've met, the way we've worked together, this just seems like the natural progression. And there are days still when we are humans and we argue
Lord
a lot.
help us,
Well, yeah, I
Derek.
feel like I feel like
Yeah.
you would be lying to me
Yeah.
if you said you didn't
1,000%.
argue. Yeah.
We had
Most
a come to
days.
Jesus right before Christmas, and
And
but it's great.
That's the best because we talk about it all the time. We're like, if we want Butter and Grit to grow and just build even more and more and more, we've got to get things in line now. Our friendship and business. That's very important. Friendship's one thing, but business is another. So we have our lanes. We know what makes sense, and what Luke does and what Laurel does is very different. We don't get in the way of Lauren. Like when she says no, it's no. Like we try to put our opinions aside and say what's best for Butter and Grit. So.
Yeah.
Which is so smart because it is like when songs come, fame comes, like all this thing can make it a lot more difficult. So I love that you're putting those building blocks in place. But yeah, if you didn't argue, I feel like the passion would be there. You know?
We argue like so.
Like you have to. I feel like if you're arguing, it means like something is there. Yeah.
Literally, we argued this morning over. I told her that I didn't want to eat a brownie for breakfast, and she was like, "I made these for your birthday," and I was like, "Okay."
Okay, yeah. But let's talk about the future. I mean, we've had a great almost 1 year. What are we looking for in terms of like, is an EP maybe coming down the line, an album maybe, and then any goals that you have for this new year? I'd love to hear some of that.
Of course, no. I don't think we're gonna focus on an EP or an album because we're so new. We're just wanting to consistently put out single after single after single. We're hoping to put out 8 singles this year, 2026, and we're already halfway done.
Yeah.
So,
but hey, we're really working on it.
Yeah.
I think we have like 3 or 4
we have
masters like
almost 4
done. So we're
masters,
like,
yeah.
I know we're really.
You're already halfway there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's huge for us. We really would love a Spotify editorial, any kind of editorial. That's a huge goal for us. Just that next step, because releasing music is very hard. Finding a good distribution company to help you, and so it's just about relationship and just continue building. Our ultimate goal is to step in the circle of the Grand Ole Opry, and we would love to be a support act on a tour. Those are our 2 big goals. But as the we have this little goal list every 6 months, and we check it off. So like you said, Whiskey Jam, Bluebird Cafe, those kinds of things we checked off this past year.
We're
zooming.
I know. We were like,
Okay.
man, we gotta come up with some new goals for this year.
We're
But-
going. We didn't know.
And then another one, truly, and this is just overall, is we love the community that is alternative country is what it kind of feels like, and just country in general. And the way that it's moving towards, it's not called alternative country, it's not hip hop country, it's just country
It's
music.
just country.
And that can look like so many different things. And so we are so excited that we feel like we have found community and
Yes.
friends for the
Yes.
first time in like our genre. And so it's really cool to foster that, and we want to continue to just find more people that we can support. And if we don't even work together, like we just want to be friends with people.
We just want to be in community with everybody. We want to collab, write, eat, whatever.
I love to eat.
Whatever that looks like.
I do.
Every time.
Is there anything that you can tease for your new songs that you kind of have mastered that the next one that you're planning on releasing? Any like little hint that you can give me? I'd love to share it.
It's
Yeah.
it was
We can tease anything.
no,
We can tease anything you want.
yeah, well, listen,
We don't
I'll do
care.
anything. No, it's it is a song that is all about not being materialistic and realizing that like sometimes having less in life is actually a whole lot more to you, and it's not about what you have or anything. And there's some funny lines.
There's
in
some
it.
funny lines. There are some funny lines, and I really think just being like on our social media, people are already connecting with that, and they understand our humor, and they also understand that we are being sincere in our lyrics, and how we write. We just the song after. I mean, we have some fun
Yeah.
stuff. Let me tell you, we are going to cut up. We have a great collab coming out with Magnolia Rising. We have a song called Horse, and I am going to rap for the first time.
Yeah.
See, I love that you guys are having fun with it too.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just
we
gonna
are
be
cutting
like,
up.
it's gonna, I love that. I think it's gonna
Yeah.
flex a whole other set of muscles for you too, which I think is
yeah.
very fun. And then just the last question is you're talking a lot about your writing processes. What does a write look like to you? I know that they're all different in different scenarios, but what does that, like, an average one look like for the two of you?
I feel like we can do different perspectives, so you can
Yeah.
go first.
Okay. I'll come from like a very a normal, generic kind of one.
Okay.
Writing is something that for me personally I do every day. I spend at least probably an hour every day
Every day.
trying to sit down,
Yeah.
and if it's not coming with a new idea, it's developing, multiple other ones that I've already had in the books. And sometimes you catch something great, sometimes you're like, I will never pull that out. But no, one of my big like roles, I think, for our friendship and for our working is I like to come with song starts. So I will often come up with like a verse and a chorus, or at least something to get us started. And then I usually message her at like 2 in the morning with a voice memo and be like, "Hey, I come up with a new song. Like, can you please listen to this?" Yeah. Yes, literally. And
Yes.
so, or like I'll send her like multiple texts. I'm like, just like let me know your thoughts or anything. And she's like, it is 11:30 p.m. and I'm in bed. And I'm like, sorry. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm like, it's fine. Just whenever you get a chance, and then I'll check in first thing in the morning. But no, I feel like that's how a lot of them start. Is I'll come
Yep.
with an idea, and then we just either sit down, like she'll build a track, and then we'll work from the track, or we'll sit down in the living room at your house, and she'll sit in her recliner with the guitar, and I'll lay down on the couch and just like try to see what we can come up with.
Yeah.
But that's when we work together. Like
Yeah.
mostly, most of our stuff is Laurel, I, and our manager, because she's an amazing writer. So it's
Yeah.
usually just us three.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, we've had. I want to say this. We've had mixed opinions about being friends with our manager and how that will look, and we love it. We respect her, but also the three of us as writers, it makes so much sense because Luke is a phenomenal lyricist, phenomenal. And Luke and Lauren, when Luke writes something, he'll be like stuck on something, and Lauren will say it, and he'll be like, "I never would even thought of that."
Yeah.
Like how easy to just transition.
Or she'll be like, "Why did you say it like that?"
Yeah,
And
why'd
I'm
you
like,
say it like
"Oh, you're
that?"
so right.
Yeah,
Put
you're
it there."
so right.
Yeah.
So, and then I come up with like melody and the feel. I rarely bring lyric. I might bring a hook, but other than that, like I'm thinking about the track. I'm thinking about how it needs to sound and what somebody needs to feel. That's kind of my vibe. And so, like I said, it goes from the first thing. He'll call me and he'll be like, "Hey, I got this," and I'll be like, "Yeah, that is great." He's like, "You want to hear it?" And I'm like, "Sure." Right now.
Or she'll be like, "Tomorrow."
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or it would be that, or either it will be, "Hey, we just got back from dinner. You want to write a song?" And there's no pressure. But when I tell you we have a wonderful time co-writing together, the three of us, it just makes sense. And we can knock it all out, every genre, in a matter of just the three of us.
Yeah, it's great, especially too, like when we bring in co-writers for like, when we work with Magnolia Rising, we work with other people. We know that we understand the dynamic of us three so well that we know how to bring someone else into it and not overtake the room, if that makes sense. Because we never want to go into a co-write being like, we have the song.
Yeah.
You just sang with us. Like, we never want to do that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, it's cool because it's just another facet of really the way that just, God has really put three very different people together. Like we are the three most different humans you'll ever meet, but yet the
100%.
best of friends. So it's really cool.
I mean, it's very cool how it all just is lined up for you guys, and I'm so thrilled for everything that's to come for you guys. Thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.